Hello and a very pleasant good afternoon to wherever you're tuning in from across the airwaves. If you don't know exactly where we are, well, welcome to Liguria. Welcome to the iconic and tempestuous Stadio Luigi Ferraris for what promises to be an exciting afternoon of Italian football. I'm your commentator, Sean Cashmore. I'll be taking you through every single kick, tackle and tactical twist here today in the Serie A. And we're in for an absolutely ragged, edge of the seat, end of season, tempestuous affair across the country. It's match day 37, so just 180 minutes of football remain in this gruelling campaign. And while Inter Milan have already wrapped up the Scudetto, the civil war for the remaining Champions League spots is reaching a deafening crescendo. And right at the heart of that storm, AC Milan. Milan are on 67 points, level with fifth place Roma, while Juventus are a point ahead in third, and with Conte's Napoli in 70 points in second, Como sits sixth on 65, and all of these teams kick off in 5 minutes. A few weeks ago, you'd have banked on AC Milan coasting into Europe's elite competition, but football is a cruel beast, as that we know. Massimiliano Allegri's men have stuttered hard into the final stretch, dropping points from losing form and looking uncharacteristically fragile for an Allegri team. But for Milan, this is not just a football match, it's a multi-million-pound Euro tightwalk. Win today, and they keep their destiny firmly in their own hands. Drop points here in Genoa, and the Champions League trapdoor could open up and swallow their season whole. Standing in the way is, of course, Genoa. This is absolutely a team that has nothing to lose and everything to enjoy this afternoon. Daniel De Rossi has guided Genoa to a comfortable 14th in the table. Relegation, really, that was tipped at the start of the season is now a distant memory, with their safety well and truly secured. But, well, if you think Genoa are already on the beach, you don't know Italian football at all, and you certainly do not know Daniel De Rossi. This stadium is a fortress of passion. The home fans, well, they will certainly want a giant scalp to close out the year. Of course, defensively, as hard as nails, this Genoa team. And in the middle, of course, Ruslan Malinovskyi is still pulling the strings with that remote-controlled like left foot of his in a game that will, of course, be his last in front of this home faithful. And of course, there's also the narrative that writes itself up front for Genoa. Lorenzo Colombo, the young striker, in on loan from AC Milan, of course, back in January at the San Siro. It was Colombo who shocked his parent club by scoring to put Genoa ahead, because before that, Rafael Leao rescued a 1-1 draw at the death. Colombo, of course, in from the start this afternoon. Can he be the man who may just dent his parent club and AC Milan's European dreams? So, we can go through the starting lineups here this afternoon. First, the home team. So they will have Justin Bijlau in goal. Back four this afternoon. A little bit of a change from De Rossi. A back four of Elitson, Sebastian Atoa, Makandali, and Johan Vasquez, the captain, in at left back. Midfield made up of Frendrit, the young Brazilian Amorim, who comes in this afternoon, and of course, as we spoke about before, the Ukrainian, the number 17, Malinovskyi. Up top for Genoa then, Vitinha, no stranger to European football. Baldanzi on the left-hand side. And then leading the line, of course, the aforementioned Colombo. as for the Rossoneri. Allegri names a starting lineup. Mike Maignan in goal. Back three this afternoon of Tomori, Gambia and Pavlovic. And Atakami and Batasagi will take up the wings with Fofana and Rabiot across that midfield. Arden Yashiri comes in this afternoon, the Swiss for his 13th appearance of the season. And then leading the line. Two-pronged attack for AC Milan and for Allegri this afternoon. And Kunku and Jimenez will lead the line. So we are ready to get underway here in Genoa. The referee just does his final checks. Of course, the red and blue in Genoa are ready to try and cause an upset. The referee this afternoon, Simone Souza. And we are ready to get underway in the Serie A. So the referee just holding proceedings before he gets us underway. It'll be AC Milan kicking from right to left. They get us underway straight away down the left-hand side. Back into the feet of Pavlovic then, his first touch of the afternoon. And as always, Milan will look to build from the back, take possession of this game early, and clear long downfield, down the left-hand side, up towards Jimenez. Doesn't quite win it in the air. It will drop down towards Batasagi, back towards Pavlovic. Pavlovic, the big Serbian defender, just goes back into keeper Maignan. And Maignan goes long up towards Jimenez, who they'll always try and seek out in the air. Headed away by Genoa, and then the first free kick of the afternoon. So the Genoa man is flattened and writhes around in the middle of the pitch, just I think a little bit winded with the way he fell. It was a Brazilian Amorim, and it's just one of those where he takes half a dead leg, and well, straight away Daniel De Rossi is out of his dugout and just remonstrating with the officials. So we see Allegri cutting a different figure this afternoon in his suit, and then there's still concern here for Amorim, because he made a massive statement in mid-April after stepping off the bench to register those two crucial assists in the 2-1 victory over Pisa. And they will certainly hope that he can run that early contact off. So he makes his way off the side of the pitch. Genoa will have a free kick from that coming together. And it's at the back for Genoa down the left-hand side. Just try and control possession at the back and work it forward down the opposite side. Just joining us, match day 37 here in Italy. Genoa 0, AC Milan 0. AC Milan desperate, absolutely desperate to pick up a win this afternoon in what could be a crucial 90 minutes. Forward comes Genoa though. work it out towards the left-hand side. Forward towards the edge of the box. Chip ball in towards the far post, and Mike Maignan can come out and easily collect and bowl it out quickly for the Rossoneri. All in white this afternoon, AC Milan. Work it in towards the middle of the pitch, and here is Fofana. Kami out on the right-hand side, just goes back towards Englishman Tamori. Now in towards Rabiot, who just drops a little bit deep just to try and link up the play. Out towards this left-hand side. Rabiot still brings it. He will now go back to the centre-backs again. Pavlovic, Mattia Gabbia. Now they work it down the right-hand side and try and fire it in towards the path of Fofana, who can't make it stick. It's good defending by Sebastian Atoa. The Norwegian goes back towards his keeper. Bijlau, all in yellow this afternoon in front of that home support. Just lays it short into his defenders in front of him, and here's captain Vasquez on the left-hand side. Atoa just in front of his 18-yard box. Just a slow and steady build-up from both of these sides as they try and feel each other out this afternoon. Now Genoa come out from the back once again. Well, it's quiet on the pitch at the moment. You can guarantee the radios and the phones on the Milan bench are buzzing with live updates, but no updates from elsewhere in the Serie A so yet this afternoon. Genoa come forward into the AC Milan half. Martina offloads. Malinowski. Genoa just enjoying possession really for the first time in a controlled manner inside the AC Milan half. Now they work it down the left-hand side. Vasquez does well. Helps it up and round the corner. Milan headed away from the edge of their box, but it'll be collected once more by Frendrup, and he'll work it out once again to this left-hand side. Frendrup once more, midway through the AC Milan half. Frendrup, one of the two Norwegians in this Genoa side. Now they go all the way back towards Sebastian Atoa, the other Norwegian aforely mentioned. Here's Vasquez, tries to work one into the channel for Colombo to chase, but Italian's not going to get on the end of that. Vasquez, 27-year-old Mexican left-back and captain for Genoa, just asking for a little bit more of an angled run. 5 minutes gone here. Genoa 0, AC Milan 0. Goal kick to the Rossoneri. Maignan will take. It's the former Lille goalkeeper, where he won the league title, of course, in that historic league win in 2021. His long goal kick downfield is cleared away. Not tidy, though, from AC Milan in their own half. It was just given away, and forward comes Vasquez down the left-hand side. A little bit of space for Genoa to move into. Vasquez thought about the early cross, decided against it. Drops it back in towards the path of Baldanzi. And then a foul over on the left-hand side as Vasquez was caught. Yusuf Fofana, the guilty party, and referee Simone Souza immediately blew his whistle. This will be a dangerous area, not only for Milan to have to defend their box, but one of those areas where Malinowski can go across and try and use that wand of a left foot to put this ball in towards that corridor of uncertainty. Plenty in the 6-yard box. Milan try and hold a line just on the edge of the 6-yard box. Malinowski drills one in all the way towards the far post. Shot goalwards, up and over the top of the crossbar. Well, it was Vitinha's effort after Malinowski drilled one across the face of goal. Really well chested down by the Portuguese Vitinha at the far post, and as he brought it down on his left foot, he just couldn't keep the strike down. But the first opportunity and first shot in anger, and it was certainly something off the training ground by Genoa. AC Milan's long goal kick down forward is headed in field, picked up by Nkunku. Nkunku works it out towards the right-hand side. AC Milan all the way in towards the edge of the 18-yard box. Across the face of goal, stabbed away by the Genoa back line. Headed back forward by AC Milan's Gambia once more. Touchdown towards Rabiot. Referee plays the advantage. Looked like there was a foul on Yashiri. Rabiot tries to send it in towards the feet of Christopher Nkunku, who's getting on the end of that. And Adrian Rabiot sporting that ponytail. Just looks a little bit frustrated, not only with the run from Nkunku, but also, you imagine, his own distribution. Genoa going to try and play out from the back in front of their vicious home support. And they do so well all the way up towards the halfway line. Colombo plays the 1-2 towards the centre circle. Genoa will work it all the way out towards this right-hand side where Ellison will collect. They switch sides, switch of play out towards the left. Now forward it comes again towards the centre of the park. So looks like Atoa's really gone out towards that left-hand side. Left as well. We'll try and allow Vasquez just to amble forward ever so slightly. AC Milan then work it all the way towards this left-hand side themselves. It's Pavlic. Pavlic's long ball forward, though, is aimless and frustrating, and well, it's turned into a real game of containment over the last few minutes as we approach the 10-minute mark in the 5 games that have kicked off already in Serie A on this Sunday afternoon. Here's Ellison on the right-hand side. Was he brought down by Bertasaghi? Bertasaghi pleads his innocence, and the referee happy that it was just a throw-in. It certainly looked like Bertasaghi caught Ellison, but Ellison will settle for the throw, and Genoa work it out across the pitch neatly towards this left-hand side. Collected now by Vitinha, sends one in towards the penalty area, well headed away by the 26-year-old Italian Gambia. Milan try and break, turned over though, down the right-hand side and back into the AC Milan half is Baldanzi. Baldanzi once again on this right-hand side. Slow build-up from Genoa. Of course, the aptly named the Griffin, after the mythical creature that dons their club crest, and the Griffin just try and spread their wings now down the left-hand side. Patient builder. And just try and hold their line. You can see the contrast in body language out there. Genoa are playing with the absolute luxury of a team that's completely safe in the league. They can relax, and they're doing just that. Inside the Milan half again. Up towards Ellison, who's slightly advanced from right back. He controls possession in front of Pavlic, who just came out to close him down, but again they'll build from halfway and work it out towards the left-hand side, towards the captain, and that man again, Johan Vasquez. He gives it away though, and then there's just a little bit of a nibble of the ankle by Amorim. Referee happy for play to continue. Here is the Brazilian who picks up that early knock, but seems to have run it off with ease. Ellison tries to make tracks down the right-hand side, but he's cut out. And it'll be a throw-in for Genoa just midway through the AC Milan half. Here is Ellison then, the former Spezia and Venezia man. Known for his spatial awareness, but not there as he just gifted the throw-in straight into the boots of the AC Milan players. But Genoa have turned it over and they'll work it down this left-hand side. Space inside the 18-yard box, across the face of goal. And I think it was Colombo who was just arriving, just couldn't get on the end of it. Milan try and break, Genoa turn it over again. Amorim. Space out on this right-hand side if they can use Ellison. Here's Makandali. Amorim. In towards Vitinha, just drops deep. Amorim sends a good ball out towards the left-hand side, but just a little bit too much on it. Can't be brought down over on that far side by Vitinha, but it was really good play as Frendrup picked up the loose ball down this left-hand side. Vitinha works it in towards a really good area. And it was Baldanzi who was arriving, who was inches away from controlling that inside the Rossoneri's 18-yard box and getting his shot off. Either way, 13 minutes gone. Genoa 0, AC Milan 0. Just watching the battle developing off the ball between Colombo and Matteo Gambia. It's the two that'll know each other well. Cross comes Pavlovic to slide in. Pavlovic has stayed down and Magnan's going to put it out of play. Now the Frenchman comes across just to check on. In fact, it's Matteo Gambia who was just landed on by Colombo, and that was the battle that we were just talking about moments ago. Gambia is the man who's stayed down. This is that traditional, that physical, positionally disciplined defender. So while Tomori this afternoon will probably look to use his recovery pace to cover those wide areas against the likes of Colombo, Gambia's job is to sit deep, win those first contacts and neutralise that target man presence. Ball back in play then. And it's just going to be held up a little bit because Magnan not happy with the ball that was in play. Now we're ready to get back on with things. So, just a slow build up again. Towards the right hand side. Be just put out of play. It's just a slow and testing build up once again. Now Genoa will try and work it inside the centre circle. Typical Italian patient build-up. Genoa just have it inside their own half. Dropping deep to collect his Baldanzi. They try and offload it in towards the path of Colombo. He can't get on the end of it. Tomori will tidy it up at the back for AC. Towards their goalkeeper. And they'll just work out towards this left-hand side. Headed away. Collected just on the edge of the box. Genoa will just try and work it forward once more up towards the edge of the penalty area. And it'll be fended away and supported out on this right-hand side once again. Genoa, patient build-up, out towards Ellison on this right-hand side. Ellison very wide. And then it'll be Genoa's ball again as they just come under a little bit of a press from AC. You can see Allegri barking out the instructions. He certainly wants a higher press from his AC team, and just as the Rossoneri try and obey, snapping into the challenge was Northern Yasheri with too much tenacity. Brought down Frendrup, and that'll be a free kick. Just a little bit of petulance and impatience from this AC Milan side, who are desperate for a result. 0-0, 17 gone. Genoa have a free kick that Malinovski will take left-footed just inside his own half. Malinovski, well, he's certainly got plenty in his locker, the Ukrainian, but not from 52 yards. That one is wild, is rash. and is a long way over the top of Mike Magnon's goal. De Rossi scowling in his penalty area. And AC Milan will play out from the back. Just a free kick as Vasquez came in with a challenge, and then Toa brought his man down. AC Milan will get us back and away with a free kick possession just inside their own half. No goals anywhere else in Italy so far this afternoon. Bertasag, Pavlovic. AC Milan have it in their own half. Tomori thought about going long, decides against it. As we said at the start, Inter Milan may have wrapped up the Scudetto weeks ago, but there's a real civil war for Champions League places left in the Serie A. A mistake here, a drop point here, and you aren't just losing a game for the Rossoneri. You're handing millions of euros in UEFA prize money straight to Roma, well, you'd have to think Como. Cesc Fabregas's men are still goalless at home to Parma. As Genoa come forward in towards the edge of the penalty area, Baldanzi seems to be bundled over. The referee waves play on. Here's Fofana. Atakami. AC Milan up to halfway. Go back now towards Tomori. Big switch of play out towards Pavlovic, and again you can just feel the nerves from AC Milan as the switch of play was up and over the top of Pavlovic's head from Tomori, and just gives Genoa a throw in halfway through the Milan half. They go backwards though. Ellison. Makandali. And a tour out towards the left-hand side where they'll find Vasquez. All the way down the left-hand side towards the dead ball line. Atakami comes back to try and stop the cross. Patient build-up and still going is Vasquez in towards the edge of the penalty area. Stabbed away though, but it's going to be picked up by Genoa once more, and Ellison there is trying to offer the support for Frendra. All the way back towards Amarin. Amarin's cross is loose. And he will go all the way back, but the referee says that there was a tug and a pull on Rabiot, and he will pull it back for the free kick on the AC Milan man. Be worked down the right hand side once again. AC Milan just inside the Genoa half. 21 minutes gone. First goal of the afternoon has come, and it is Pisa 0, Napoli 1. Napoli taking the lead, and of course that man again, Scott McTominay, on the score sheet for Napoli. Man United link in the goal. Rasmus Højlund with the assist. Scott McTominay adds to the wealth of goals he has scored this season in the Serie A. A free kick here as Baldanzi was just brought down over a rash challenge from Bertasag. No more than a foul though, and Genoa get us back underway. Back in towards goalkeeper Justin Vigelo. Both goalkeepers reasonably unemployed so far this afternoon. Genoa come forward down that left-hand side once again. Try and work it in towards the feet of Colombo. He's going to pick it up towards the edge of the 18-yard box. This place for Baldanzi on this right-hand side, and they find the feet of Baldanzi, and then Ellison drops a shoulder. Can he get his cross in? No, decides against it and tried to work it in towards the edge of the penalty area. All the way back towards Baldanzi. His drive is blocked and AC Milan will try and escape. But again, possession turned away and then possession maintained really well. Well, it was maintained well to a point by Otoa until he gave it away. But then back snaps Baldanzi and Genoa will try and break forward down that left-hand side with Vitinha once more. But the referee just plays the advantage and ignores the cries from Vitinha for a free kick. Genoa still have possession. Nothing on for them down the left-hand side. Well, nearly given away at the back by Genoa, but helped forward in the end. And then Pavlovic's clearance was loose and he's given it away straight in towards the feet of the man on loan from AC, 24-year-old Colombo. He's dispossessed. AC Milan will work it forward and towards Yashari and towards Fofana. AC Milan just building a head of steam up towards the edge of the penalty area, and then, well, it's a rash challenge by Malinovsky. He pleads his innocence, but he certainly clipped the ankles of Arden Yashiri, and it'll be the first free kick of the afternoon in a dangerous position for the Rossoneri. So, Nkunku stands over it. Fofana forward from the back. So is Jimenez, who's struggled to get involved really so far this afternoon in his opening 25 minutes, but an opportunity for one of Nkunku or Bartosagi's left foot to work this in. It's going to be Nkunku right-footed in towards a very good area and goes all the way through past the far post. Well, the linesman's flag was up for offside over on the far side, but Nkunku put a really good ball into that area of uncertainty, that corridor that we speak so much about in football. And, well, Nkunku, of course, he was the big money move, wasn't he, to Chelsea that never really worked out, the former Leipzig man. And his free kick just wide of the far post. And Genoa will get us back underway. Of course, if this game is moving a little bit slowly, we just have to appreciate where we are. In Genoa, in the Marassi, officially the oldest stadium still active for use in football in the entire country of Italy. Steeped in history here in Genoa. Genoa come forward now inside the AC Milan half. It's Baldanzi. Fredrum. Back into the centre circle and collected by Sebastian Otoa. Crossed in from the left-hand side. Inside the penalty area, brought down well by Fredrup. And Fredrup's drive is wild. Getting into some good positions. Fredrup offloaded to Malinovsky again, but again, Malinovsky, well, something tells me that he knows this is his last game in front of this home faithful and Genoa. Something tells me he's very keen to get on the score sheet this afternoon, because that's 2 or 3 wild drives the Ukrainians had. 6 goals already to his name this season, of course, but yet to register a shot on target this afternoon. Amarin. AC Milan just put the press on Genoa in their own half. They have to go all the way back towards the yellow-cladded keeper, Justin Bijla. Played out down the right-hand side. Given away, though, inside the penalty area now. Across the face of goal goes Jimenez. Really good defending on him. Just had to be marshalled out of it. Did the Mexican, as was given to him really inside the penalty area, but Marcandali got back and defended it well. Genoa up to halfway. Of course, touching on this stadium as well. Hosted games at 2 different World Cups, 1934 and 1990. You can see those iconic red brick corner towers. This really is one of the cathedrals of European sport. But so far goalless. Goalless in all the games but one that have kicked off in this Serie A battle for the European places. AC Roma 1, Lazio 0 was the latest, but that goal has been ruled out. So still Roma 0, Lazio 0. Goal disallowed for Roma. Forward come Milan down the right-hand side with Atakami. Back to the Englishman, Fikayo Tomori. He's just fallen out of favour in terms of England plans after he did get a couple of caps. Neat play down the left-hand side. Nkunku. AC Milan have it up towards the edge of the Genoa box. Yashari ghosts away from one challenge. Good cross into the penalty area. Headed down. Headed well wide. After an acrobatic try from Jimenez. 16th appearance for the Mexican this afternoon, but it's just a little bit of a wild effort from the Mexican, the former Feyenoord man. So he likes being that predatory fox in the box, but not known for his acrobatics. Certainly not on that occasion. Genoa then do exactly what manager Daniel De Rossi likes them to do and play out from the back. Slow build-up. Akindali's in space on this right-hand side. He's further right than him. He has Elliotson. Switched out again through the defensive unit. Toa. Akindali. Back to Bijla. Goalkeeper just a little short one inside his own box, but they lay it out well towards Frendrup. Here's Elliotson. Wide and advanced on that right-hand side. Elliotson just bundled off it. Be it a free kick, as you know, as we catch sight of Luka Modric on the AC Milan bench this afternoon. Former Ballon d'Or winner, of course, the Croatian. And here's Frendrup. Genoa just make tracks inside the Milan half. Amorim given away. Genoa have to tidy it up as the AC Milan was an area looked to break, but forward comes Genoa down the left-hand side, up towards the edge of the penalty area. Vitina tries to get his cross in. And have another go as it works back out towards the edge of the penalty area. In space is Amorim. Atoa. Vasquez comes to get involved, but they go back towards Atoa, and it's the entire Genoa team now inside the Milan half as they look to press and probe. And then curse to the commentator as the ball was whipped and fired into the channel for Makandali to try and get on the end of. Certainly too much on that for him, but Rossi's certainly rotating this squad this afternoon. These players have been all over the pitch as they look to try and pull this white-shirted Milan side out of their positions. Of course, a lot of AC Milan fans will have their eyes keenly fixed on goings-on elsewhere. And Napoli have doubled their advantage away to Pisa. It's Romani who's added their second after McTominay gave them the lead. So half an hour gone in Pisa. And it is Pisa 0, Napoli 2. Goalless here between Genoa and Milan. Up towards the edge of the penalty area. Breaks forward all the way in towards the path of Malinowski, but he can work it back through towards Vitinha, and the ball just runs all the way through towards Magnan, the Milan keeper. He will look to play and build it out from the back. He's probably been slightly more active than his counterpart in goal for Genoa so far this afternoon, Justin Bijlau. He'll arrived from Feyenoord in January to replace the goalkeeping issues that Genoa really had here at the start of the season. It was a massive gamble for his career, stepping into this hyper-tactical world of Serie A, and De Rossi asking him very clearly that he needed a goalkeeper who could play from the back and be key in that distribution, and here he is again, left-footed. He's kept it clean inside his own penalty area, but Makandali's been pressed highly. Ellison's done really well to keep it in though, and then it's been brought down. The referee's going to play the advantage. De Rossi out of his technical area, not happy, but he'll be happy that Genoa still have the ball and now inside the AC Milan half, and there's a bit of space on the left-hand side. Collected in towards the edge of the 18-yard box. Little overlap. Can they work it across the face of goal? No, because it's blocked behind. Is it for a corner? Well, Malinovsky certainly thought it was a corner. The referee, Souza, though, was in very close accompaniment. He went goal kick, but just looking at the replay, I understand exactly why Malinovsky thought it was a corner. Goal elsewhere in Turin, in this battle for the European places. Juventus 0, Fiorentina 1. Fiorentina take the lead away against Juventus. It means Juventus level on points with Milan and AC. Rossoneri will surely be aware of that. Roma still 0-0. They're on 68 points as well. Napoli have propelled themselves into second on 73 points, so they're 5 points clear in second as it stands. And AC Milan are one of three teams now occupying third, fourth and fifth, all on 68 points. Juventus, though, 10 better on the goal difference than AC, which is almost as good as a point in itself. We'll see how the afternoon develops here in Italy. One more game week to come next week. It's the penultimate weekend of the league. AC Milan try and work it up towards the edge of the Genoa box, given away. Baldanzi. Swashbuckling challenge back by Rabiot on the Brazilian Amorim. Foul given. There'll be a free kick to Genoa just midway inside their own half. Worked out down this left-hand side. Really are waiting for this game to catch fire. 36 minutes gone. Just like the reverse fixture back in January, it was a similarly tight and tense affair until AC Milan loanee Colombo broke the deadlock for Genoa. Of course, it was Rafael Leao, suspended today, who rescued the draw late on for the Rossoneri on that occasion. They won't be able to call on him today. Of course, sent off last time out against Sampdoria. Forward comes Marcandelli from the back. Just seemed to then pull out of the challenge as Shirley went flying in. Shirley is then felled by the same man, 23-year-old Marcandali. It's going to be a free kick for Marcandali's foul. Of course, the Atlanta Academy graduate. Highly rated young talent in Italy as well. Of course, he's broken through under De Rossi and made 30 appearances already this season. And now on his 31st this afternoon. Out towards the right-hand side for Milan. Atakami, long ball in towards the penalty area. Brought down right on the edge. And, well, wanted the foul as it was worked up towards heads, but Nkunku comes out with it. Nkunku in towards the edge of the penalty area. Now they offload it inside the penalty area. Left-footed drive across the face of goal has to be put behind. Well, Rabiot's cross-come shot was just dragged lower across the 6-yard box. Just lurking at the far post was Christian Nkunku. Rabiot was certainly trying to seek him out. Makandali could take no chances. Has to put it out for the corner. First corner of the afternoon for the Rossoneri. Right-footed in towards the near post. Flicked header, palmed away by Justin Bijlow. Certainly a save he should have made, and it's managed to get the ball out of his penalty area. Sent back into the Genoa box. Rabiot trying to get on the end of it, tussling with his man on this right-hand side, and in the end, he's judged to have brought down Amorim, as we see the save again from the Dutch goalkeeper, which he got 2 fists too, as it looped up. Certainly would have been questions if that one had crept in. Free kick to Genoa. 5 minutes till the break. It's fascinating watching Daniel De Rossi down in the dugout trying to organise this Genoa side as he sees them break into the Milan half down the far left, but Tomori does well just to turn possession over. But Milan can only put it out of play for a throw. Back in play quickly, Frendrup. Just the 1 goal for the Norwegian midfielder so far this season. Constantly ranks high on the data for ground duels won and successful tackles. Now his ball down the left-hand side in towards the captain. Vasquez is neat and tidy, and just as we say that, they give it away. But AC Milan can't maintain possession. Whipper ball in towards the edge of the penalty to Genoa, but it's cleared away. Sent back forward. Tomori will have to go over and try and shepherd this one out, and does really well for Kayo Tomori, just to make sure that Colombo couldn't get around the outside of him. He's really found a home here in Italy for Kayo Tomori. This was suspended last time out. 3-2 defeat to Atlanta at home. After he picks up that red card against Sassuolo. And then, let me say it, Leao sent off as well. Recently, it's been certainly questions asked of the discipline of this Milan side so far in the second half of this season. Certainly been a cause for concern, some of the suspensions they've had, and that's, you'd have to think, affected their league form. Now trying to affect things in the right side of the penalty area is a sharp ball in by Yashiri, but it's all the way through the penalty area. It can't be collected by Nkunku. Applauds the idea. He was never going to get on the end of the ball that was whipped in, and Genoa will have a throw in over on the far side. Genoa 0, Milan 0. Goal elsewhere in the Serie A. They had one ruled out earlier. This one is not going to be ruled out. Roma have taken the lead at home to Lazio. AC Milan try and head it down on the edge of the Genoa box. Collected though by Genoa neatly inside their own half, well by Vitinha. As it stands, AC Milan drop to 5th. Even though Juventus are losing, this point for Milan would not be enough to put them in front of Juventus, who are losing but are on a much far superior goal difference. Here's Milan towards the edge of the box. Pavlovic, though, just again gives it away. Across goes Baldanzi. Was he fouled by Rabiot? No. Referee waves play on, and then Rabiot's ball is loose and wasted. Pavlovic scowls at him, and again, it's been the story of the first half, really, for the Rossoneri. Every time they've got themselves into anything like a positive possession, the ball has been wasted, the pass has been loose, and the composure just hasn't been there. I think that's exactly the conversations that Massimiliano Allegri is having with his bench. Worked out from the back then by Genoa. 90 seconds until the break, or until at least we'll see the stoppage time. It's going to be a couple of minutes, a couple of injuries that needed the physio's attention. AC Milan will try and build up a head of steam before the half is out, but again they give it away. Down the right hand side comes Ellison. Gives it away, and Yashari will have it for Milan inside the centre circle. Tomori into the path of his centre-back partner Matteo Gabbia. The two exchange passes. The press is high from Genoa though, and they force AC Milan all the way back in towards goalkeeper and captain Mike Magna. His long angled ball forward is never going to reach the head of Rabiot. And again, careless and needless handover of possession from Milan. Marcandelli will take the throw for Genoa down the line. Collected well by Colombo. Did he keep it in? Linesman says yes, but he gave it away anyway. Gambia. Tomori. Fofana comes deep to collect. A little bit of space now for Yashiri. Yashiri and Fofana. Fofana collects on the edge of the penalty area. Can he work it onto his right foot? No. Well defended by Genoa. Up towards the halfway line goes the clearance, and then Gambia just bundles into Colombo once more. Those two are having a real physical duel this afternoon. It's Colombo who wins the free kick. So just the 60 seconds of stoppage time, of which we are halfway through here in Genoa. Free kick that'll be taken by Marcandelli. Genoa just working up towards the edge of the penalty area. And there'll be just a little bit of a loose challenge on Ellison, who's stayed down, but has stayed down off the pitch. So Milan will try and get on with it, but they won't have time to do so because referee Simone Sosa blows the whistle for half-time. Well, it's certainly been a war of attrition between these two sides. Genoa playing like a team with all the time and none of the pressure. Daniel De Rossi just coming on just to bark some instructions out to his players, but he'll certainly be happy with the performance that Genoa have put in. As for AC Milan, well, they really haven't been at the races so far this afternoon. And with 45 minutes to go and results elsewhere going against them, they really need some inspiration going into the second half. No big chances of note. Malinovsky's had a couple of drives for the home side. Vitinha had half an opportunity that was worked up and over the top of the crossbar. Apart from that, for the away side, well, the Rossoneri had half a chance where Rabiot worked one through the 6-yard box that Christopher Nkunku couldn't get anywhere near at the far post. But aside from that, it's been a very tempestuous first half in the midfield battle. It's certainly a game being won by both defences. Half-time scores elsewhere then in the Serie A. It's Roma 1, Lazio 0. Como and Parma, like the game here, are goalless. Juventus are behind at home to Fiorentina. And it's Pisa 0, Napoli 2. So as it stands, of course, Inter Milan wrapped up the Scudetto weeks ago and then made it a domestic double by sealing the Coppa Italia over Lazio in midweek. In second, Napoli are now on 73 points. Roma in third on 70. Juventus come fourth on 68. Milan fifth on 68. And Como sixth on 66. All to play for here in the second half in Genoa. But at the break, we'll take a short break. We'll be back with you for the second 45. Genoa 0. AC Milan 0. Well, welcome back here to Genoa. And if you missed the first half and you weren't listening along for the first 45 minutes, well, you'll want to know that it's not been a game for the football purists so far. If you're looking for goal-mouth action, it's been a cagey, sometimes suffocating chess match of the first half between Genoa and AC Milan. And let's be completely honest, wasn't really a single clear-cut chance to write home about. No woodwork rattled, no heroic goal line clearances. Both goalkeepers, Justin Mijau and Mike Maignan, have had remarkably quiet afternoons in their respective goals, but don't let the lack of shots fool you into thinking that there's no drama out there. This is pure, unadulterated Italian Serie A tactical warfare. Daniel De Rossi has set his Genoa side up beautifully in that low mid block, and as we're ready to get back underway at the start of the second half, you think that's exactly what they'll be trying to do once more. On the flip side, Allegri's Milan, well, they look like a team playing with a heavy set of psychological handcuffs, terrified of making that mistake that could blow their Champions League dream to pieces. Plenty of the ball, but it's been slow, it's been sideways, it's been sterile in possession really between the likes of Tomori and Gabbia. But well, it's a multi-million-pound tightrope that they're walking right now. But it's match day 37. It's the Serie A. It's the start of the second half. It's gridlock at 0-0, but surely can't stay that way forever as the clock ticks down in a season which, for the Rossoneri, a draw does them very few favours, with Roma winning, Napoli winning, Como drawing goalless at half-time as well against Parma. Juventus losing will have been a positive for the Rossoneri to have found out at half-time, but, well, it's tense, it's tight, and you could say it's beautifully poised. But hopefully you're back from your half-time refreshments, as are the players. They're ready to get us back underway once more for this second half. Go through the teams once more. For the home side, Genoa, Bijou in goal. A back four of Ellison, Makandali, Otoa and Vasquez, and left back. Midfield of Frendrup, Amarim, Mananovsky. And that three-pronged attack of Vitinha, Baldanzi, and the man on loan from AC Milan, the 24-year-old Colombo. As for the Rossoneri, well, AC Milan, Maignan in goal. Pavlovic, Gambia and Tomori make up the three at the back. Batasagi, Adrian Rabiot, Yusuf Fofana and Natakami. And then leading the line, Jimenez and Nkunku just in front of Ardan Yashari. Just waiting for the referee, Simon Souza, to get us back underway. And the players are just having a look around. I'm not sure if Simon Souza may have an issue with his headset here for the VAR. There's certainly some issue that he is having to resolve. But it's certainly a game that is waiting for a spark. And you know those issues in a game when the thing to write home about the most so far are technical issues. Well, he looks happy now, Souza, giving the nod of the head towards the bench, the referee. Just having a final check. No, there still seems to be a problem. So we are not back underway here. The referee is just doing some final checks. He just spoke to both captains as well, and now he appears happy. So after that little delay, as we say, this match crying out for an individual to break the tactical script. Can it be a bit of magic from Nkunku? Can Genoa catch Milan on the counter and deal absolute chaos? But here they are down the right-hand side. Drop of the shoulder, but nothing on. So Amorim, the Brazilian, picks it up, works it in towards the penalty area. Fended away by the Rossoneri back line. Otoa, centre-back for Genoa, will go all the way down to collect. 16th appearance for the Danish centre-back. 6'6" of him, lays it back into his goalkeeper, who then goes long. Of course, Sebastian Otoa, like we said, the Danish centre-back. Of course, he famously endured a nightmare debut for the club last spring. He received that straight red card after just 21 minutes, so certainly done well to pull himself back into favour and align himself really with the composure that's needed in Serie A, and certainly the composure that De Rossi demands from his team. His goalkeeper, Bijlau, work it down the right-hand side towards Baldanzi. Baldanzi gives it away. Now they'll come swashbuckling forward with Pavlovic, will AC Milan. Here's Fofana. Chipped out towards the left-hand side, where it's collected by Nkunku. Work it towards the edge of the penalty area. Headed away by Genoa, only as far as the edge of the blocks, where it will be collected by Malinovsky. And Malinovsky then sends Colombo, sporting that headband this afternoon, for a run down the line. But he's tracked all the way by Tomori, who just puts one out of play. Tomori pleads his innocence, says that he played it off the ankles of Colombo, and certainly looked that way. But the fourth official was stood right there. And he helps the referee, Simon Souza, in the award of the throw-in to Genoa. Just take a look at that physical battle from the first half between the likes of Tomori and Gabbia that had to deal with Colombo. Of course, on the bench for Genoa this afternoon as well, the 19-year-old homegrown prodigy, Jeff Akothor. Again, he's another physical threat that Genoa could throw into the mix. For now, they have it inside their own half, all the way back, and then it's a loose ball and brought down needlessly. And Nkunku was just felled inside the penalty area by Justin Bijlau, and Genoa, out of nothing, have been the makers of their own downfall. Well, it was a loose pass back into his own penalty area by Amorim, and Nkunku was straight onto it. Amorim never looked up, gifted it to Nkunku. Nkunku's first touch was away from Bijlau, and the Dutch goalkeeper wipes the French striker out. And now there's a flashpoint in the penalty area because Vasquez was trying to get in the ear, I think, of Nkunku. Bijlau's been booked, the goalkeeper, for the challenge. And the referee just has a little bit of sorting out to do now. But wow, can Bijlau redeem himself? Like we said in the build-up to this game, he certainly had to adapt to the pace of the Italian game. Of course, he's come through the academy at Feyenoord, brought in January. That sweeper keeper, that modern style. Well, he couldn't sweep that one up, and he could only sweep Nkunku's legs out from underneath him. So it will be the man who was fouled against the man who fouled him. When Nkunku steps up to it, can he dispatch? Can he get Milan ahead? The Rossoneri fans hold their breath. Nkunku, right-footed, sends the goalkeeper the wrong way and puts it delightfully into the bottom corner. Well, Nkunku gets his 7th goal of the season after he was brought down for the penalty. Pujol went the wrong way. He was the man who felled him. Amorim, the young Brazilian, brought in this afternoon, was the man for Genoa who just gave that ball away. And Nkunku picks himself up from the turf of which he was sent to, dusts himself down, and then right-footed dispatches with aplomb into the bottom corner. Genoa 0, AC Milan 1. And this battle in the Serie A for European places takes another twist. Still, plenty of time for more twists and turns to come, though, in this second half. Back underway. Genoa have it inside the Milan half, and then brought down was Balanovsky, so he will have a free kick straight away. Without tempting fate, this is about 45 to 50 yards out and left of centre, and we've seen Balanovsky have some audacious efforts already this afternoon. Will he put this one into the penalty area? Left foot, stands up, great delivery in towards the far post with plenty of whip on it, just headed down outside the penalty area. Chip back in towards a good area, headed away by Milan only as far as the edge once more. Can they collect the loose ball, Genoa? Yes, they can, and then brought down on the edge of the penalty area. Rabiot's challenge was a little bit reckless, and Genoa are going to have a free kick in a very dangerous position because Vasquez was felled, and this is exactly the sort of position that Genoa will want the left foot of Ruslan Malinovsky to stand over. Possesses literally a cannon of a left foot. No shots from outside the box in Serie A this season, Ruslan Malinovsky. And there's just a stoppage in play because the linesman has had to bring to the attention of the officials some coinage that has been dispatched towards the playing surface from the fans behind that goal, who are in good voice, and the penalty area is filled now with pyrotechnic smoke that is billowing from the stand behind Magnan's goal. Vasquez wants them to get on with things. The referee's not happy to do so. And well, we wanted a little bit of drama to kick on from that first half stalemate. Well, we're certainly getting it at the start of the second. AC Milan taking the lead, courtesy of Nkunku's 7th goal of the season, dispatched from the penalty spot. We're going to have certainly a break in play. But now the referee is in deep conversation with both linesmen and now the 4th official. The stoppage in play is because the fans behind the goal to the left here of Mike Magnan's goal have lit a number of heavy-duty pyrotechnics. Those pyrotechnics have billowed smoke into Magnan's penalty area. The stoppage in play came just as Vasquez was felled about 3 yards outside the 18-yard box. And Malinovsky is still lining up the free kick, but there's no wall and there's no players even inside the 18-yard box, because the referee is clearly taking stock of this situation that has presented itself. Of course, Milan this season, 16 games they've won when scoring first. Of the 20 they've done so in, and 4 of those they've gone on to draw. So Allegri and the Rossoneri fans will be happy with that statistic, that AC Milan, who have taken the lead from the penalty spot courtesy of Nkunku in the 50th minute, have yet to lose from a winning position so far in the league this season. Still we wait as this billowing pyrotechnic still swirls around the away end. Of course, this situation was further exacerbated with the coinage that seemed to be hurled from a section of the fan support behind Magnan's goal. And now referee Sousa is in conversation with both Gabbia and Tomori. And I think the referee is saying that he's trying to get some instruction if he should take the players off the field of play. The smoke that we saw certainly looks to have died down somewhat than what we had 5 minutes ago, but what we will certainly have is a plethora of added on time at this game. Chance to look at the scores elsewhere in Serie A so far this afternoon. Roma 1, Lazio 0. Roma took the lead courtesy of Mancini in the 40th minute. So they still lead at home into the 57th minute of that game. Into 57 minutes of all these games, of course. Como goalless at home with Parma. Juventus still behind at home. Nodoa gave Fiorentina the lead in the first half, and Juventus trail in Turin. Only other game underway. Pisa at home, and they are trailing to now second place Napoli, who are 2-0 up. The first coming courtesy of Scott McTominay, who has been no stranger to goals in the Serie A. He's really found a home for himself in Naples. He was assisted by Rasmus Højlund, the Man United link clear there. And then Romani added a second 6 minutes later, so 2-0 to Napoli. The smoke has dissipated here now in Genoa. And it looks like the referee is happy for things to get back underway. Well, Malinowski has had a long time to think about this free kick. And he will stand over it left-footed, Ruslan Malinowski. 4-man wall in front of him that Magnan has lined up. Can Malinowski test the AC Milan keeper? We're ready to get back underway. And here's Malinowski left-footed. Drives one goalwards, up and over the top by inches. Great strike by the Ukrainian. Certainly had Magnan scrambling. Plenty of whip and bend on it. And it's just over the top of the crossbar. Magnan was at full stretch. And I don't know if he was getting there. Well, he won't come too much closer than that this afternoon. Ruslan Malinowski, as he tries to add to the goals that he's already got this season. 6 this season. The former Marseille man, of course, played in Italy for Atlanta as well previously. Started his career, of course, at Shakhtar Donetsk. A 33-year-old is rumoured to be leaving the club at the end of the season. Goal elsewhere in the Serie A. Como have taken the lead at home against Parma. So again, that just tightens up and concertinas the league from 2nd to 5th. Milan chip one forward towards the edge of the penalty area. Nkunku. Little offloaded header into the path of Fofana, but Fofana can't collect. Just kept in play on the dead ball line by Vasquez. Vasquez into Malinovsky. Malinovsky fouled, was he? No, we play on. Milan turn it over there, right on the edge of the penalty area. Here's Nkunku. Nkunku lays it out towards Rabiot. Rabiot. And towards the edge of the box again. Fofana thought about the drive, decided against it, tried to work it in towards Nkunku. Genoa clear their box and clear their lines well. So looking at that league table, Napoli second 73, Milan third 70, Roma fourth 70, Como fifth 68, Juventus sixth 68. 2 points separate four teams in third, fourth, fifth and sixth. Cleared long and downfield by Milan. Helped back forward by the Genoa back line. Resolute defending once more by Genoa, but as they try and just work it forward and towards the edge of the AC Milan box, again it's just disciplined, I suppose you'd have to call it, from both sets of defences. But Milan won't care because they've managed to take the lead. Courtesy of Christopher Nkunku, dispatched from the penalty spot. There'll certainly be plenty of time added on. And that stoppage in play for the pyrotechnics that were lit from the Genoa fans behind Magnon's goal. Of course, their last home game of the season. Very much a celebration of a successful season, really, for Genoa, who were tipped to be in relegation trouble. But De Rossi's done a really good job, and they will finish in and around the 13th or 14th position. Never really looked to be in trouble for a good number of months. Milan come forward down the left-hand side and towards the edge of the penalty area. Tried to chip towards the far post, and Nkunku got underneath it, heads it down towards that man Fofana, who's up from the back. He gives it towards Tomori. Tomori gives it away, though, and they'll look to try and break, and Colombo is just clattered into by Gambia. Gambia's going to get a yellow card for it, and the Genoa players are not happy at all with the challenge on Colombo. Well, that was certainly a reducer from Gambia, and those two have been battling it out all afternoon. And that would be the first yellow card of the afternoon for the Rossoneri. Man booked already, of course, Justin Rijal for the foul, and the goalkeeper brought down Nkunku for that penalty 12 minutes ago. Lorenzo Colombo back to his feet, seems okay. Here he is, picks up the loose ball, and then again just seemed to be caught, was he, on his Achilles this time, and it's Gambia again. And wow, Gambia, they wanted a yellow card for. Vitinha now has got himself booked for dissent because Vitinha was straight over to remonstrate with the referee about another foul in quick succession. Gambia on Colombo. It certainly seemed that Matteo Gambia just raked down the back of Lorenzo Colombo's Achilles, but well, in the end it was Carvalho Vitinha that said too much. So Vitinha in the book. After no bookings at all in the first half, we've now had a smattering of them in the second. And before we get back underway, Genoa are going to make the first change of the afternoon. Here comes the homegrown talent, Ekator, the young physical frontman, comes on. And now the free kick is worked up towards the edge of the Genoa box. Headed down and headed away by AC Milan. Incidentally, Ekator, it was Baldanzi that he has replaced. Now it's built from the back by Genoa. Offloaded by Colombo, but given away. And AC Milan will bring it into opposition territory down the left-hand side. Bartasaghi chips it in towards Nkunku. It's over the top of that man's head, but it's in towards Akatami, and then sent goalwards again by Nkunku, fended away just in front of the goalkeeper by the Genoa back line. Offside flag is up, wouldn't have counted. Well, it's the first time that Atakami has just got into a dangerous area at the far post. Was brought down well by him, and then it was just worked back towards the edge of the 6-yard box, where it was then sent goalwards by Nkunku, but he just scuffed his effort, and it could be fended away by the back line of Genoa. So they will bring it out from the back down the right-hand side. For those of you listening at home trying to visualise this second half, well, the tempo of the second half has slightly increased from the first, but it's still a slow and fascinating watch off the ball. Milan are keeping possession. They'll build from the back now once again, but it's entirely in their own half until they send it forward like they've done now from Tomori. Headed away easily though by Genoa from the back. Little ball through the channel into the lines for Ekator to get his first touch. He offloads in towards Colombo. Colombo's having his shirt pulled, but we play on up towards the edge of the box, and then again, as it was just fed in towards the feet of Vasquez, Rabiot, the guilty party once more, who just clatters into Johan Vasquez, the captain of Genoa, brings him down, and it'll be a free kick in a dangerous position once again. And in fact, it was Ellertson who was fouled over on the far side, not Johan Vasquez. Either way, this will be a free kick in a position in which you know the eyes will light up of Malinovsky, the Ukrainian. This is about 28 yards out. A little bit further away, left-footed, but this one he gets way too much on. And it's a good 5 yards up and over the top of Magnan's crossbar. Roma have doubled their lead at home against Lazio. So AS Roma. It's Mancini with the double. 66 minutes on the clock when he is given Roma a 2-0 lead over Lazio, who've had a tough week. Of course, defeated in the Coppa Italia final 2-0 against the team that have already won the Scudetto, Inter Milan. And their rivals, AC, are now going to make their first change of the afternoon here in Genoa. So Milan being withdrawn. Yusuf Fofana not really been able to get on the ball too much, but he's going to be withdrawn, and Ricky will be his replacement. And in fact, it's going to be a double change because Mexican Jimenez, who's really struggled to get into the game this afternoon, well, he's going to be replaced by Füllkrug. Could never really get it going at West Ham. Sebastian Füllkrug. So he will be brought into the fray as well. So Füllkrug, the German, into the mix. And now Genoa will try and build from the back. On the left-hand side it comes. Is Sebastian Natoa. And towards Vasquez. Amorim just drops deep. Looking to get on the ball and perhaps atone for his error. He was the one who gave away the ball needlessly to Nkunku inside his own penalty area. Never looked up, never looked back. Gifted it to Nkunku, who was then fouled and stepped up and dispatched the penalty. Going to be a goal kick for AC Milan. Ekator tried to make tracks down the right-hand side, but just bundled it out of play. You can see the tension etched into the posture of the Milan players whenever the ball goes out for a throw-in or a goal kick. Genoa are playing, obviously, although behind, with the luxury of a team that have already achieved their season objective. They're safe, they're comfortable in mid-table, and they're playing for pride, but Milan are playing with a financial invisible backpack. You know that even though they're leading single heavy touch or misplaced pass doesn't just mean a drop point. It could mean sliding out of the top four and losing access to next year's Champions League bounty. Of course, that kind of pressure makes the legs feel heavy. And you can see it just a little bit and how safe and conservative their passing has been through the first 70 minutes of this match. But 20 minutes to go. Genoa have it inside the centre circle. Here's a Toa. Amarin. Towards the right-hand side where Ellison is forward. Down the line it goes. And towards Frendrup. Back once more to the feet of Toa. Here's Johan Vasquez. Vasquez into the path of Colombo, but again, as he tried to play the 1-2, he's just clattered into. And that'll be another free kick that AC Milan give away. Just Tomori, the guilty party, but when he gets back to his feet, Tomori's going to see a yellow card coming his way. It was a heavy touch by the Englishman. And as he went after it to try and make up for the loss of possession, he may have clattered into his Genoa counterpart, but he's certainly come off the worst here as Tomori. Lays prone. And certainly a little bit of concern for the former Chelsea man. Of course, he had the loans at Brighton and Hull City, and of course that time at Derby County on loan. But he's now racked up over 200 appearances for the Rossoneri. But there's a yellow card to add to his disciplinary tally. Of course, he does possess that recovery pace, and I think that's exactly what he was trying to rely on, as his heavy touch just took the ball away from him. But either way, he's off the pitch now, getting treatment on that head injury. And AC Milan will only have 10 men to defend this free kick that's going to come in from the left-hand side, of course, from the left boot of Malinovsky. Left-footed, stands over it, whips it towards the far post, headed goalwards, appeals for handball. It's out for a throw-in over on the far side. Makandali certainly appealed for it. Vitinha appealed for it. Everyone looked towards the referee. It was headed down inside the penalty area, and it certainly looked to come off the back of the shoulder, more the head than anything, of the AC Milan defence. Check over. It'll be a corner over on the far side. Corner that Malinovsky can whip in with that wand of a left foot once more. In towards the near post. Not a good delivery. Easily fended away from the near post by the recently introduced substitute, the Italian Samuel Ricci. Malinovsky now stands over the throw. And there has been a goal in Turin, but it has been ruled out. Juventus equalised, but that goal has been chalked off. So still Juventus 0, Fiorentina 1. Genoa 0, Milan 1 here. Ball over on the left-hand side with Genoa. They want a free kick for a late challenge on Malinovsky. He's saying that he was trod on by Rabiot. Referee and linesman are in agreement that there was nothing doing. It'll just be a throw-in to Genoa over on the far side. They take it quickly, work it back in towards the defensive area where it's collected by Toa. Now Vasquez. Vasquez out wide towards Vitinha. The man from Portugal just tries to drop a shoulder and get away from the press on him, but in the end that press is too forthcoming from Atakami. And it'll be a free kick to Genoa just inside the AC Milan half. Parma have equalised away at Como. Como 1, Parma 1 is the latest score. Free kick long by the Genoa goalkeeper up towards the edge of the penalty area. Headed out and away from trouble. Recycled by Genoa once more, but the offside flag is up. And again, we will have a break in play. So as we said, Parma equalised against Como. The goal has come from Pellegrino. But there is a VAR check still ongoing there. So we'll update you if that goal stands or not. Elsewhere, there's been 2 sendings off in Rome. Wesley Franca and Ravella for Lazio have been straight red carded in the same minute. So you'd have to think that that incident has been linked. More information on that if we can. But changes are afoot here. Still a break in play while substitutions take place for Milan. And Kunku, the man who's given the Rossoneri the lead, is withdrawn. And Christian Pulisic, the American, is brought in. Here he is straight away up towards the edge of the penalty area. Genoa defend their box well. Now Malinovsky clears. Gives the front line of Ecuador something to chase, but tidied up well by Gabbia. And he goes back towards keeper Magnan. And they play it out neatly from the back in towards the feet of Pavlovic. Gabbia. Pavlovic once more. Up towards halfway. Offloaded neatly by Ureki. Down the right-hand side. Atakami. Given away, though, needlessly inside the AC Milan half by their own wrongdoing. Ricky again then late in the challenge on Amorim, and again just a little bit of nerve seems to be creeping in for Milan. That Parma equaliser at Como was ruled out. Long VAR check, 4 minutes it took, but the goal has been ruled out. It stays Como 1, Parma 0. Vasquez, just inside the Milan half. Here's Amorim, the Brazilian. Drops it in towards Makandali. Genoa just try and build inside the Milan half and control possession. Malinovsky. Midway through the AC Milan half. Out towards the left-hand side, the number 9, Vitinha. Vitinha chips it up towards the far post. Good towering heading it away by Gabbia, but recycled back in by Genoa up towards the edge of the penalty area. Out towards the right-hand side. Here's Frendren. Amorim chips one in and towards a good area. Free effort on goal. It's just up and over the top. I think he saw it late, Vitinha. He punches the turf in frustration. Really good whip ball in towards the far post. Eluded everyone. And as Vitinha come onto it, it's more than half a chance for the man from Portugal to get his 6th goal of the season. And he just couldn't get over it. Couldn't get clean contact. Kicked it into the turf. And it's up and over the top of Mike Magnan's crossbar. Big opportunity for Genoa to try and pull themselves level. Well, Vitinha, certainly no stranger to scoring big goals in big moments. He's had crucial strikes already this season against the like of Roma and Hellas Verona back in mid-March, but that was certainly more than half their opportunity. Milan have it inside the Genoa half, but the touch is loose by Ricky, and it'll be a throw-in just in front of the Genoa dugout. Daniel De Rossi down there, the Italian still barking out instructions. Nerves and tension palpable in the AC Milan dugout. Thought about taking the throw-in quickly, decide against it, leave it to Atakami for the man from Switzerland to bowl one down the line. Flicked on header towards the edge of the Genoa box, but they clear their lines, and now they'll give Colombo something to chase. But Colombo is just, again, marshalled and manhandled, this time by Pavlovic. Bounces down inside the Genoa half. Well taken control by Amorim, and now there's space for them to break down the left-hand side. Vitinha goes off on a run to make an angle for Malinovskyi. Malinovskyi decides against it, works it back in towards the centre of the pitch where Otoa will have space and time inside the centre circle. Out towards the opposite side. Ellertson. Markandali in towards the penalty area. Neat run by Colombo, but he couldn't make it stick, and Pavlovic just then has his ankles clipped by Frendrup, and Rabiot will take the free kick for Milan just inside their own half. 10 minutes of the 90 to go. Genoa 0, AC Milan 1. Iregri now, the man barking out instructions from the AC Milan dugout. Ball out of play over on the far side, headed out of play by Genoa centre-back Markandali. So down comes Bartasaghi to take the throw. Throw-in's going to be bowled in towards the edge of the penalty area. Flick down inside the penalty area, and Milan will touch it up towards the edge. Strike goes goalwards and into the bottom corner. Atakami has found the goal that may just wrap up the 3 points for AC Milan in this vital afternoon in Serie A. It's only his second goal of the season, but he took it really well. Long throw in, worked back out towards the edge of the penalty area, onto his left foot, and he's dispatched it well, right past the right glove of Justin Bijlow, who couldn't keep it out. So we see the long throw, just fended down inside the penalty area, worked onto the left boot of Atakami, and he dispatched it brilliantly. One touch to set himself, a second to send it low and hard, angled and uncompromising, past the outstretched glove of Bijlow. And while that could just be the devastating move that means, once again, Genoa will not pick up points at home against AC Milan. Atakami doubles the lead on 82 minutes. Genoa get us back underway. Still they'll come forward. Long ball up towards the edge of the penalty area. Then given away straight into the path of Ekator. Ekator, what a save by Manyan. Well, the ball was just gifted into the feet of the Genoa striker, I think by Ricky, who, similar to Amorim when he gave away the opportunity for Nkunku, who got brought down for the penalty. In fact, it wasn't Ricky, it was just worked back into the path of Yashari, and they just gifted it to Ekator, who then had only one man to beat, and Manyan came up with a brilliant save. Corner worked in towards the near post. Not a good delivery again from Malinovskyi. He'll get another chance. It's been sent behind for another corner. The Ukrainian stands over it again. Malinovskyi, better delivery. Head it down inside the 6-yard box. Can't clear the lines at the first time of asking, but they do through the head of Pavlovic at the second attempt. Rabiot now, still inside his own half. Looks for support. Has it down the line. Really good run by Pulisic. Pulisic up towards the edge of the penalty area, in towards a good area, but it was just helped away by the backtracking Vitinha, who's put in a lot of miles this afternoon. And it was his defensive interception that returns possession to Genoa. Forward come Genoa down the left-hand side with Vasquez. Otoa. Just as AC Milan will be thanking the gods for going 2-0 up away, Juventus have gone 2-0 down at home. Ball in towards the penalty area, up and over the top by Ekator. So Juventus, who themselves needed a result this afternoon, well, they were 1-0 down in the first half, courtesy of Endua. And then Mandroga has just doubled Fiorentina's lead. So we're going to have a change here as well. Colombo is being withdrawn. Ekuban is brought on for Colombo, has ran himself into the ground all afternoon. And the Rossoneri will also make a change. Yashari withdrawn. And the other Englishman, the former Chelsea man, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, is brought on for the final 5 minutes of the 90. I would imagine there's still at least 10 minutes to play here in Genoa, because we had that lengthy stoppage. And forward they will come through Vitinha. Vitinha then, who is just brought down by Recchi. There'll be a free kick midway through the AC Milan half. Just pushed to the ground more than tripped. Free kick to Genoa. Is there something left in this game? Is there life for them yet? Malinovsky stands a good 50 yards out. No wall in front of him. Surely he will not be shooting from here. Doesn't. Plays the quick one in towards the path of Amorim. Amorim headed back down inside the 6-yard box. Bundles around and then it's tucked in! Well, it was pinball in and around the penalty area, but the captain Vasquez has all of a sudden kept this game alive. Well, the free kick from Malinovsky was taken short, and all of a sudden Milan were caught napping. It was in towards Amorim. Amorim chipped one in towards the far post. It pinged in and around the penalty area after it was headed down initially by Marcandali. And then as Vasquez tried to get his shot off, Conor De Winter, who's only just come on, couldn't clear his lines. And as the Belgian tried desperately to stab it away from trouble, there was Johan Vasquez to stab it into the back of the net and under the body of Mike Maignan. Genoa 1, Milan 2, and all of a sudden, it's game on. Corner for Milan. They broke down the left-hand side. Genoa have had to put it behind. And they'll have to defend their box and just settle themselves again. Corner that'll be taken in swinging right-footed, all the way towards the far post. Headed away from trouble by the Genoa back line. As we said, games in which AC Milan take the lead, they don't usually lose from. Ball collected on the edge of the penalty area, worked inside the penalty area. Rabiot will just see it behind. And Vitinha certainly wants this Genoa side to get on with it quickly. As things stand, AC Milan are third. Napoli second on 73. Milan and Roma third and fourth on 70. Corner for Milan on this left-hand side. That'll be an out-swinging corner in towards the far post. Headed down by Loftus-Cheek. They're collected on the edge by Genoa and they'll try and break away. And the legs of Vitinha have certainly got plenty of speed left in them, but not enough to get on the end of it. And a cross game Recchi just to dispatch that into the crowd and put it out for a throw almost level with halfway. We're into the 89th minute. Sebastian Otoa. The Dane lays it out towards the right-hand side. Here's Malinovsky. Switch of play. Out towards the man who's just made things slightly interesting with his goal, Johan Vasquez. Here's Vitinha. Vitinha just ghosted out of play, and it'll be a throw-in that he takes quickly. Vasquez. Genoa midway through the AC Milan half. Can they fashion an opportunity? Here's Amorim. Square ball. Across to Makandali. Ellison wide out on that right-hand side. Looked for the channeled run of Malinovsky and finds it. And Malinovsky wins a corner. And all of a sudden, from being 2-0 up and thinking they were home and hosed. Genoa are putting AC Milan under late pressure. We're into the 90th minute. Corner from the far side. Not a good corner again by Malinowski. Hits the first man. Headed out of play for a throw-in on the far side. Looks like Genoa are readying another change just to shore up this defence, possibly. It is going to be a change. Amorim, the young Brazilian, he's going to be withdrawn. A bit of experience brought in, courtesy of his replacement, Aaron. So Aaron on for Amorim. Ball back in play. In towards the Genoa centre-back, Ottawa. Forward he comes. Down the left-hand side, there's space for Vasquez. Vasquez drops a shoulder, gets away from his man, and works it towards halfway again. 10 minutes will be added on here in Genoa. 10 minutes for AC Milan to see this out. Long ball in towards the edge of the penalty area by Genoa. Fended away from trouble by AC Milan. Loftus-Cheek tries to hold it up on the right-hand side, but the ball's just going to trickle out of play. In fact, the referee's going to pull it back for a head injury. And it'll be AC Milan player Pavlovic, I think, who's going to need a little bit of attention, as we just see that strike it again from Atakami that gave AC Milan that cushion, but that cushion didn't last long. Quickly taken free kick. Amorim helped it into a really good area. It was headed down by Makandali, and then it just pinged around the penalty area, scrambled around. Connie De Winter, who'd only just come on, couldn't clear his lines, and the captain Vasquez got in the end of it. So 10 minutes of stoppage time, and we're in to 2 of that. Forward comes Genoa down the right-hand side. Chipped in towards the penalty area, but it's worked out towards this left-hand side now and in towards the dangerous area again. Milan have to clear their lines. Picked up by Loftus-Cheek and worked out towards this right-hand side for Akatami to lay it down the line. Akatami in towards Loftus-Cheek again. Akatami comes to support. AC Milan just enjoying a little bit of possession inside opposition territory. Ball out of play for a throw-in. Milan will just take their time. They're in no rush. Now the throw-in will come in down the line by Akatami. Cleared away though by Genoa. Down the line, helped round the corner. Ekuban wants a free kick. The referee not interested. Let's play continue. Genoa thought about kicking the ball out, decided against it, should have done because they've given the ball away. Now the ball will go out of play. It's all a little bit scrappy as we tick towards the 94th minute. Genoa 1, Milan 2. Gonna have the throw-in on the right-hand side as just a little bit of a VAR check for the challenge on Ekuban, but nothing doing. Free kick for offside, quickly taken by Genoa. Forward they come, swashbuckling down the right-hand side. Elliotson. In towards Malinowski, who's come deep to try and get involved. Malinowski thought about the cross from deep, decided against it. Works it down the left-hand side to Vasquez. Now Malinowski will put it in. Low cross in towards the near post. Come off an AC Milan man, and then Loftus-Cheek has to head it away and stop it going for a corner. De Rossi is out of his technical area once more barking out the late instructions. Throw in that'll be taken over on the left-hand side. Hurled in towards the near post. Headed down inside the penalty area. It was Aaron Martin who hurled that throw in, but AC have cleared their lines, and that Rossoneri will have to stand firm once again as Genoa build up a final head of steam. 5 minutes to go. We're into the 95th of 10 added on. Vasquez gives it away. Loose pass. Now Milan can look to break. Rabiot plays it in towards the feet of Pulisic. Rabiot again. Work it out towards the right-hand side. Pulisic, edge of the 18-yard box. Makes his way towards the dead ball line. Looks for support. Has it with Loftus-Cheek. Loftus-Cheek inside the penalty area. Lays it towards the edge of the penalty area now. Ricky helps from round the corner across the face of goal. Good save by Bijal. Loose ball picked up by AC Milan. They help it in towards the penalty area courtesy of Pavlovic. Pavlovic's ball is recycled back out to it. Akatami on the right hand side. Loftus-Cheek works up towards Ricky and in towards Akatami once more. Neat play by Loftus-Cheek, who just tried to play it in towards the path of Pulisic, but it's cleared by Bijal and it's cleared straight out of play by the Genoa goalkeeper. Pulisic has certainly been a live wire since coming on. As we see the shot of face of goal across the face of goal again by Bartisaghi, that was well saved by Bijal. So we're going to have a throw in for AC over on the right hand side. Roma have won 2-0 at home against Lazio. That game has finished. AC Milan still work it down the right hand side. Loftus-Cheek, was he fouled? Referee doesn't think so. It'll be a throw-in. It's also finished in Pisa. Pisa 0, Napoli 3. Rasmus Højlund added a third in stoppage time. It's finished in Como. Como 1, Parma 0. Only goal of the game from Moreno in the second half was enough to settle that one. We still play here in Genoa. And this is the only game that still continues, because Juventus have lost at home to Fiorentina. Juventus 0, Fiorentina 2. AC Milan take a free kick deep inside the Genoa half, and they try and hold it up in the corner. They're just going to try and play for time now, AC Milan. And the Italian dark arts are well and truly in full effect. Into the 98th minute. Allegri marching around his technical area like a drill sergeant. He knows exactly what this result means. Then there's a snapshot from all of 25 yards from Rabiot that nearly caught out Bijal, and he had to touch it over the crossbar. Great technique from Rabiot. Got his knee well and truly over it. Left-footed drive. It's a save that the keeper should make, but the bouncing ball can always be an awkward one. And he had to touch it up and over the top of his crossbar for a corner. And this is not the end of the pitch that Genoa want the ball to be. 3 AC Milan players in the corner. Allegri is at fever pitch in his technical area. Genoa try and stop the ball being held in the corner by Fulkrug, but only at the expense of a throw-in. 90 seconds to go here in Genoa. Throw-in for AC Milan, deep inside the opposition half, in towards the edge of the penalty area. Cleared away this time by Malinovsky. The Ukrainian tries to seek out one of either Kalabekyiban or Jeff Ekator, but neither of them can get on the end of it. Long ball forward by Milan down the line. He's going to go and trickle all the way out for a goal kick. Is there one last roll of the dice for Genoa here? Long ball forward up towards Ekuban. He can't make it stick. Collected by Rabiot. Rabiot in towards Pulisic, and Pulisic comes inside the penalty area. Pulisic one-on-one. Really good save by Bijal. Had to stick out a glove and a leg to keep it out. And Genoa clear their lines. Pulisic could have wrapped it up. Really good save from the substitute. And now Genoa try and build a counter-attack on halfway. Ekuban is fouled inside the centre circle. And it's going to be a free kick to the home side. And this will be the last throw of the dice. We're into the 100th minute here in Genoa. And what has been a really tight affair. The first half was a war of attrition. The second half has certainly been better. Long ball in towards the penalty area. Headed down inside the 18-yard box. Worked away and helped back in by Genoa once more. And that's it. The referee, Simon Souza, blows the full-time whistle. And Allegri punches the air. Vital win this afternoon for AC Milan. With Roma winning and Como winning, the Rossoneri knew that 3 points was not a question of if, it was a question of must. And they have mustered up the strength after a very stalemate-like chess match in the first half. They've come up with 2 goals in the second half to see them over the line. They were pegged back, but with 10 minutes added on, they managed to see the game out. And that puts them in 3rd place going into the final day of the season. Just a little bit of a flashpoint at full time between appeared to be Vasquez and Pulisic. But either way, it's finished here in Genoa. And Kunku gave the Rossoneri the lead on the 50th minute after he was brought down by goalkeeper Bijal. He stepped up, took the penalty and put AC Milan 1 goal to the good. 82 minutes on the clock. They added a second, courtesy of the left boot of Atakami, who looked like at that point he'd sealed the 3 points and wrapped things up without any stress. But Genoa had something to say about it. 87 minutes on the clock, and Vasquez stabbed one home inside the penalty area just to add that little bit of last-minute tension. And that tension certainly came through the 10 minutes that we had added on here at the Stadio Luigi Ferraris. But at the end, a massive collective roar from the travelling AC fans. The Rossoneri relief, really, from the Milanese faithful in the away end. Massimiliano Allegri punched the air. His players congratulated each other because they know that this win today was massive. Milan have survived the cauldron of the Marseille and walked away with all 3 precious points. And well, when the pressure was at its absolute highest, when their Champions League future was staring them dead in the eye, AC have stepped up. It wasn't pretty, it was traditional. It was a gritty Italian battle against a resolute Genoa side that pushed them to the absolute limit. But titles and European spots are often secured on days like today. With this victory, Milan keep their destiny firmly inside their own hands. One more hurdle to clear next week, but today's heavy lifting is done. The final scoreline, Genoa 1, AC Milan 2. I've been your commentator, Sean Cashmore. Thank you so much for joining us for an afternoon of live Serie A football. We'll, of course, be back bringing you more live action, but until then, stay safe, and we'll speak to you again soon.